The stakes have never been higher. The competition has never been stronger. 35 drivers, 20 rounds. One will be crowned champion. Competition, commitment, excitement. This is Lionheart. You're watching the premier American Open Wheel Series on iRacing. The Lionheart IndyCar Series presented by First Medical Equipment starts now.
We're all gamers, and HyperX is always ready to game. Competition, commitment, excitement. This is Lionheart. Live from Sonoma Raceway, it's time for the Global Sim Racing Channel Round 10 coverage of the Lionheart IndyCar Series Season 8 Championship presented by First Medical Equipment. After a grueling month of June, which saw all Lionhearters focused on Indianapolis, a break in the schedule, I will tell you as a driver in the Retro Series, was well-deserved and great. But the hiatus is over, and Lionheart returns by bringing both its IndyCar and Retro Series to Sonoma for a doubleheader. The Lotus 79s, hey, we're going to go tomorrow night. Check it out right here on GSRC in the HyperX Grand Prix of Sonoma. But today, the weapon of choice is the modern Dallara IR-18. It's time for the Turn Racing Grand Prix of Sonoma and all the simulated action. From green flag to the victory donuts will be right here, live as it happens, on the iRacing Esports Network. Welcome to another GSRC broadcast in the Sim Experience Countdown to Green. Over these next 15 minutes, GSRC is going to bring you all the storylines, the point standings, and just catch you up in general. Hey, we've been off for a month. That way you'll be able to appreciate the Turn Racing Grand Prix of Sonoma. I'm Adam Young, joined by former real-world IndyCar driver Richie Hearn. Sean Ambrose has the director duties, and he's using cameras provided by Dougie Beard. Sage Kara might be leading in the points, but when it comes to Sonoma, Jake Wright is king. The two-time series champion has a pair of wins at this venue, going back in seasons 4 and 5. Californian is here again today to see what season 8 has to offer. Some of us might not be as comfortable at this place as Jake Wright. Let's take the moment to get a little bit more familiar and check out today's video catch-up on Sonoma Raceway.
Welcome to Sonoma Raceway, one of California's most famous road courses. It resides just north of San Francisco. It's been host to a wide variety of styles of racing, including sports cars, Indy cars, motorcycles, and even drag racing. But in recent decades, it's become most well known for holding one of NASCAR's rare road course weekends. For most tracks, this cornucopia would be a stretch, but considering the array of 5 different layouts to choose from, it's quite easy for the circuit to be adapted to any series needs. Most of the layouts clock in at around 2 to 2.5 miles in length and always feature an impressive amount of elevation change. This means many of the corners present the driver with a blind entry or apex. Some of these have a very distinct visual look, making them instantly recognizable. Corners such as the chute and the final hairpin feature street course-like walls surrounding the track, while the carousel is both picturesque and challenging. With few long straights, passing is often considered very difficult, but it rarely leaves races with a lack of action. Mistakes can be easy to make, offering opportunities for the brave. And it's not just the track itself which is tough. The pit entry's narrow path requires precise driving for those looking to make up time and leapfrog their competitors during stops. With more than 40 years of racing under its belt, Sonoma has become a staple for West Coast race fans. And what could be better than a glass of vino on a sunny hillside while the sound of engines echo around you?
All right, Richie, as qualifying is getting ready to begin here. Of course, Sonoma Raceway, as we just heard, famous IndyCar racing, stock cars. Seen a lot of even IMSA racing here over the years. What else can you tell us about Sonoma?
Yeah, this place is a lot of fun to drive, but very tough to race on. I still call it Sears Point because that's where when I first started running there, that's what it was called. But you can see on the track map, not a lot of straight sections, a lot of turning, a lot of blind turns over a hill. So you really have to know where you're placing the car before you get there. We also got a little shot on the pit lane. The pit lane can be very tricky. You got to enter into this narrow concrete tunnel, and it's going to be critical here today as passing is going to be very tough. And I think the win or loss is going to be on those in laps and out laps on those pit stops. Remember, the countdown to green is brought to you by Sim Experience AccuForce steering systems. With the most advanced tuning features on the market, the AccuForce Direct Drive is second only to the real thing. To check out the entire Sim Experience line of products, head on over to simexperience.com.
All right, now we've got the points for you. Now I'll tell you why we pull up those points after driving the Lotus 79 here. I'll expand on what Richie said. At least in that car, it's very easy to drive. It's very hard to go fast here. And I think it's the same way in this Indy car here tonight. But I'll tell you one guy that's really great at going fast, Sage Karam. Hey, that last time out, the 500, we saw that dramatic win, and then he followed it up with the Retro Series Indy 250 win. He is on a roll right now. We'll see what he's able to do here today. Connor Harrington in second place, followed by Kinsella and Blocker, and Brian Yazik in a pretty tight run here for fifth. Jumped up 2 spots, but the big is Lewis up there, the rookie, jumping up 7 spots, well up into the top 10. So point standings, of course, this time of year is when we definitely start getting an idea of how things are going to go for the rest of the season for a lot of these guys. And the team standings, though, now if you want to see some tight racing, look at these team standings. I mean, Alcantech, it's going to be Harrington, Larkamp, and Lewis. They're taking the lead right now with Joshua Chin, Kara Martinez. They're only 23 points behind in the SKM rides. Adrenaline Motorsports, the red group there with Joe Branch, Carey, Andrew Kinsella, they're 59 points back. So that top 3 right now, it's a big race, and that could really flip on its head week in and week out here at this point. Hey, Richie, how are those rookie standings looking?
Yeah, the rookie standings presented by Butt Kicker. We got Nathan Lewis, who jumped up, had a really good run at Indy. He's moved up to the lead here in front of Joshua Chin. He's 44 points in front. Usually these point standings are a little tighter on the rookies, but there's a little bit of a gap there. We got Ken Capati sitting there in third at 57 points, and then Frazier at 69 points back, and then a little bit of a gap to Sandman, who's missed a couple of races. So this is going to be tight as we get going, and we always are interested in that Rookie of the Year standings.
I'll tell you, a personal dark horse today, just kind of watching things progress throughout the week, is probably going to be Sandman if he can keep himself clean. I think he can get a top 5. He excels at these type of tracks, and everything I've seen him race in, from Lionheart to majors to everything, it's the Sandman. I'm going to pick him in the top 5 here for tonight. Hey, the Lionheart Racing Series, powered by HyperX, is the premier open-wheel racing league on iRacing. It oversees 2 great series, the Lionheart Retro Series, presented by DMLC Racing Channel, and the featured series here for today, and that's the Lionheart IndyCar Series, presented by First Medical Equipment. And, of course, both series honor the memory of the late Dan Weldon. Richie, since Lionheart's been away for a while, why don't we go over the race details and how things are run here?
Yeah, absolutely. And these event details come to us thanks to Minus 273, the premier name in karting gloves. Their industry-leading gloves are super lightweight and durable, made of breathable poly spandex. Whether you're a kart or sim racer, Minus 273 gives you the control to reach the victory lane. For more information on Minus 273's full line of gloves and apparel, visit www.273.biz. Don't forget to also use the LHRS for 25% off all orders. And there you have the event details. We are in Season 8 of Lionheart IndyCar Series. We're halfway through the season, round 10 of 20. 3 driver drops there using Zalara IR18. The setups are fixed, but they have been adjusted to make them race a little bit better. And we're working on cash and prizes totaling $10,721.
And it's one of the things about Lionheart. It's always great to be here. It's been spectacular prizes for a lot of these guys. Great sponsors to help put those up, and it's definitely a joy. Just a great group of guys. If you're looking for a league, there's a couple other non-broadcasting leagues we're doing now too. So it's always great to have out there. So hey, the weather here for today. I guess we get back in a little bit of my specialty. 74 degrees, track temperature 94, and the winds. The winds northwest at 4 miles an hour. Not really going to affect these cars here for today, and a pretty dry air as well. So the horsepower is okay. But Richie, if there's one thing I know definitely at about Sonoma, it seems like any car I drive here, it's always slick, and it doesn't matter if that track temperature is 75 or 120.
I think it's just the manner of the nature of the race or the track. You're absolutely right. You're always sliding and just moving the car around. A lot of hills and blind corners you can see on the screen. They go over that hill for turn 2. There's really no flat sections here except for right there at the hairpin. So you're putting a lot of load on these tires, and it doesn't matter if it's hot or cold, you're going to be sliding that car all over the place.
And as you can see right now, Joshua Chin taking the provisional pole, and with that rookie just showing his speed, with Adam Blocker now moving up into second on the standings. Watching James Grahula right now, and James a little bit further back there here so far at 19th.
Yeah, he's it's a little bit of a struggle sometimes for some of these guys, and it's about putting the whole lap together. And I'm going to tell you right now, qualifying is going to be key here, as passing is tough in the retro series, and these cars are going about 10 seconds a lap faster, and so you really only have one passing zone, and that's into that final hairpin. Even that's tough to do. So we got Joshua Chin sitting up on top, and that's good for his rookie of the year points, and a Blocker sitting second. He's really close. He's only less than a tenth of a second behind. Harrington did well. Andrew Kinsella doesn't really qualify well, but right now he's sitting 4th, so that's a good start to his night for him.
It is, and that's what we like to see. Here comes Grahula coming out of that hairpin. That's a tight place. Probably one of the best passing opportunities in this track as well. See if he's able to improve his time here at all. Doesn't look like it. So now we'll focus in on Adam Frazier for the moment. And let's move over to Ron Hacker. He's coming out here. He's getting ready to set another time. Sitting 25th right now. Looks like he might be about 3/10. Go over to Adam Blocker. Let's see if he can do it. Nah, it looks like something happened to him on that lap here.
Yeah.
So here's Brian Carey.
It's also easy to get those 1Xs as you drop a little tire in the dirt, and that'll negate your lap time. So that's key to have that clean lap. One thing I noticed, Sage Karam's in the room, but he has not put a time in, so I don't know if he's running tonight. But man, tight up front. These guys, we got a lot of cars here tonight, so that's going to be pretty exciting to watch.
Yeah, so counting 32 cars, and the only one I don't see, actually, Sage Karam is not in the session. Mike Rigney and George Sandman. Now, George Sandman might just be reconnecting here before everything, so we'll see what happens there. Adam Frazier, though, this looks like it might be one of his best times. He might be able to move up just definitely a few spots here. Oh, 13th position. All right. And I think that's it on the track.
Yeah, that's much better than he was sitting in 28th spot. But yeah, interesting to see George Salmon sitting there in 16th. I know he's faster than that, so he must have had a little bit of an issue on that qualifying. He's got a long ways to go. I think strategy on the fuels and tires are going to be real important for this race, trying to do the undercut.
Yeah, Richie, do you by chance know how many laps we can go here tonight?
I do not, actually.
Okay, so that'd be fun. In fact, actually, yeah, let's go and pull up the race analysis. We got a little bit of intel on that
there
one.
We go. I got it. I got it.
So it looks like it's going to be a 2-stopper.
Yeah, that's good to see. 18 laps, max fuel stint, 50-lap race. Disqualified at 25 incidents. We probably shouldn't see anybody get to that point. They're probably wadded up at that point anyways. But yeah, 2 stoppers, so that's going to make it exciting. So you can probably stretch that out or shorten it depending on how you want. And I think we're going to see a lot of varying setups for that, and that'll ma- that'll make it exciting.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and check out the grid. Only got a few more graphics here to keep Sean Ambrose busy for the night, and then he could just pretty much sit back and relax and click a few buttons. But this is the important stuff. Butt kicker, starting grid, Joshua Chin, the rookie, taking the pole. Adam Blocker starting alongside him. Connor Harrington, Andrew Kinsella are going to make up row 2. Row 3, Jay Brandt, Michael Goodman. Row 4, Brian Carey and Dustin Wardlow. And row 5, Brian Beard and Nathan Lewis.
Yeah, starting 11th will be Justin Weaver and Damon Martinez right next to him in 12th. 13th, Adam Frazier getting on the last lap there. James Krahula starting 14th. 15th will be Stefan Larkamp, and George Salmon will be right next to him in 16th. 17th will be Brian Yazik. And then we have Tyler Graff in 18th. Starting 19th will be Scott Holmes. And starting 20th will be Jason Galvin.
All right, 21st position. We're also still waiting to see if George Salmon is able to get back in the session in time. Chris Lanini and Mark Cohn, they'll be in row 11. Row 12, George Anzaldo, Samuel Ryman, Joe Branch, and Scotty Johnson in row 13. Row 14 is going to Ron Hacker and Brandon Lincoln. And row 15, Sage Karam, who is not in the session at the moment. And then Tony Showen will be on the outside of him.
And right down in the back, Mike Rigby and Brian Greenlee. I don't know if they're going to race. Looks like some of those guys might just be watching the race, but if not, we have 30 cars starting this field.
All right. So either way, no matter who makes it, who doesn't, I mean, we're going to find out here in just a second. This pace car is going to pull off here in about 15 to 20 seconds or so. Indy cars are fantastic. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of our onboard cameras here. Get those out of the way here before we start rolling. Hey, nice little helmet cam Dougie Beard set up here. That's going to go to the Espo Designs. Get yourself a racing identity. Visit at Espo Designs. So with that graphics MLR sim racing car, go ahead and go over to Tyler Graff. He's driving the minus 273 machine here for tonight, at least the onboard camera there. And he's got that camera situated right there on the headrest to the right side of his head in the Loud Pedal Motorsports car. We're sponsored by Minus 273 tonight. Durable, breathable, lightweight racing gloves. Use promo code LHRS at minus273.biz. And next up on the driver list tonight, we've got Brian Beard. He'll have another onboard camera for us today. And he's merging a gap with Turn Racing between real and sim racing. Use promo code Lionheart10 at turnracing.com. Another guy that was supposed to have an onboard camera, unfortunately wasn't able to make it, was Sage Kara, but I want to give HyperX a shout out. Of course, they do a lot for this series. Whatever you play, however you play, HyperX knows we're all gamers. Use promo code LIONHRT15 at hyperxgaming.com. What are you feeling right now before a race at Sonoma? I mean, you just got through the carousel. You're heading to the second slowest, well, actually probably now the slowest part on the racetrack. I think you go a little bit faster through the hairpin than you do right here. And what is your heart going? What are you doing?
Yeah, right there is a very tough spot because there's not really any braking markers. But what I'm thinking right now is I'm Josh Shin. Nice job in qualifying, just get the lead. But if I'm in the middle of the pack, take what you can get and then maybe start saving some fuel. So it's going to be a little bit of a mess going through turns 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But if we can sort ourselves out through there, then we'll just kind of see where we end up. But yeah, get nervous right here coming through the S's, just deciding where I'm going to get on the gas and just try to make a clean turn into turn 2. That's the tricky one, over the top of the hill. It's easy to overdrive it and go right into the dirt. So we'll see what happens to these guys.
We're going to find out. Leader Joshua Chin taking the green flag here for the field in that purple and white machine. Alongside him, Adam Blocker on your front row. He's holding him up here, and he's on the gas. We are away here at Sonoma. Flying down the front straightaway, Joshua Chin gets a great jump. Adam Blocker, not so much. He is already going to be under attack from Connor Harrington, who is himself under attack by Andrew Kinsella. Andrew Kinsella is going to get that run and see a car barrel rolling back in the pack there. We'll check that out here in just a minute. Seems like the front half of the field is getting through the first couple of corners. Okay, that was Justin Weaver on his lid. Once again, we'll go take a look at that here in a minute. I don't see any other incidents through the first couple of corners. Maybe Adam Frazier back there, but Joshua Chin off to a great lead, Richie.
Yeah, he did a good job getting a jump, and you can see how that corner in turn 2 kind of snakes back and forth, and that gave the spot to Andrew Kinsella, but Connor Harrington was able to get back right behind him and hold off onto that 4th spot. Now we're just kind of going through that hairpin, which is tricky to stop for, and down through the S's heading towards that hairpin.
Yeah, we're seeing a number of cars here still beat up on pit road. Seeing this field already spreading out quite a bit. I imagine in traffic, that could be quite tough going through there. But now they're getting all single file as they go through the hairpin. Joshua Chin still off to a great lead. First leads the first lap. With that, I think we're safe to possibly go take a look at that first lap incident there with Justin Weaver. And man, Richie, he took a wild ride.
Yeah, it's a tough spot up there. You can go in there not too wide very, very successfully. Unfortunately, the guy on the outside gets a nice run up, and then he's on the inside. Ooh, man, he really got pounded into the inside tunnel there, or the bridge, and that's going to end his day, so that's unfortunate.
Yeah, now, so we're on now Andrew Kinsella, that green machine, and trying to see where he is at, running in 3rd right now. Great start for him as well. He really went on the attack earlier, was able to nab that spot from Connor Harrington, and it's tough to pass here, Richie. So I mean, that's how you want to run your first part of the race. Now it's just a matter of racing that first pit stop.
Yeah, it's a good job for Andrew Kinsella. Normally he doesn't qualify very good, but today he stepped up to the plate, took advantage of it. Got a good run up into turn 2, took that spot from Connor Harrington. He's holding on to it. Everybody's single file. I'm not expecting too much heavy racing going on at this point with the heavy fuel load and new tires. It really is going to come down to those pit stop deltas, and that's where we're going to see probably some real change of positions. Unfortunately, I was going to say, unfortunately, it looks like George Sandman wasn't able to enter the session. So he is out of the race, and Adam Frazier also has disconnected, unfortunately. So we've lost a couple of good drivers there.
Going back to James Krahula, and James Krahula getting the spot here just a minute ago from Damon Martinez. So he's able to complete a pass early in that neon yellow machine. And hey, while we got him up here, let's go ahead and talk about James Krahula. He is our profile driver for today. And, you know, he's been with the Lionheart series since almost the start of it at Iowa, way back in season 1. He's ran 95 races. He's picked up 3 wins. He has finished in the top 10 in more than half of his starts. That, in my mind, that says something about James Krahula right there. But it has been 22 races since his last win. We'll see if he's able to change his luck here over the course of the next couple of weeks. So let's go ahead with that. See if we can find some action on the track. Let's go ahead and go up to P7. Brian Carey, they got the lap vehicle of Brian Yazik in front of him. He was involved in that lap 1 incident there. He's letting them go by.
Yeah, it's a tough place to catch lap traffic. He did a good job, Jason, letting those guys by. But these guys are stacking up a little bit. Brian Carey doing a good job holding off Dustin Wardlow. He's got Nathan Lewis right behind him, and Brian, they got a whole stack of cars there, all the way back to looks like Stephen Larkamp as well, all the way back to 14th spot.
And here in Scott Holmes has had a problem. He is currently off track. Looks like it's in the carousel here. I tell you what, Richie, looks like to me that he went over the top of the hill there right before the carousel back end got light when he got on the brakes, and round she went.
Yeah, it's easy to do if you brake a little too late, go over that hill, the rear end's light. Did a good job getting out of the way, no contact, backed up, and is going to be able to keep going, but he's going to fall back into the field.
Yeah, so losing about roughly, it looks like maybe about 10 positions there, so not good. So Adam Blocker setting the fastest lap of the race so far. Let's go check him out real quick, and then we might have a battle behind them. Adam Blocker setting really good times here. About a full tenth faster, almost 2/10 faster than what Joshua Chin did, but he does continue to lose ground overall. He needs to click off a few more of those here, Richie.
Yeah, this is the perfect track of saying it's easy to catch, but let's try to pass him. Josh Chin did a good job getting a good start jumping out, but Adam Blocker's starting to bring him back in, but I don't know if he's going to have room to pass him. Right behind him is Andrew Pizzella trying to hold off Connor Harrington. These guys are doing a good job just running clean laps. I think they're just trying to settle in and see what they can do before they get to that first pit stop.
Oh, we got to go back a little bit, but if we can jump on board with Tyler Graff and the -273 onboard camera. He's got himself locked into a pretty good battle here with David Martinez. Of course, as I say that, it separates out a little bit, but under braking here, going into the hairpin, it's going to close right back up. And actually, David Martinez has a good look at James Kahula. James Kahula's going to run a little bit wide. David Martinez right on the rear wing up there, and you're getting a bird's eye view of it from that -273 camera.
Yeah, he's going to try to go around the outside. That's a really tough place to pass. You got to have some serious commitment to get to the inside of that next corner. He does a smart thing of just falling back behind him. I'm going to go up to Connor Harrington, P4. He's getting a little bit of a headache from Michael Goodman. Michael Goodman doing a good job, starting 6th, running 5th at the moment. These guys are battling hard. They're not as close as they were earlier, but when they got down to the hairpin, Michael Goodman was right all over him. They got a nice little gap to Jay Brandt, who's doing a good job as well in 6th spot.
And of course, Michael Goodman, whenever I see him, I definitely am one of those ones that thinks he's more of an oval racer, but he has definitely worked a ton on his road racing craft the last few years, and continues to just get better and better and better, and now top 5 here at Sonoma so far, and putting Connor Harrington, who is no slouch at all, under pressure, very much under pressure here. Connor Harrington not off today to as great of a start as I think he was hoping he would have.
Go up to front a little bit. He missed it, but Adam Blocker has made a mistake somewhere. He's lost almost 2 seconds to Joshua Chin. So Josh has gapped him out quite a bit.
I'm trying to see if I can see myself where that mistake, if it was actually made.
I think it was in the hairpin. He came in.
Yeah. Oh, here in Tyler Graff just had a problem. Was this the commentator curse? Yeah, he ended up having the back end brake loose. Coming out of, looks like 2 there. Damon Martinez onto the outside. He had kind of a slow corner. You'll see it here. And Tyler Graff, I think, kind of got fixated on him and locked it up just to keep from hitting anything. A little bit of a dirt excursion there. Can't really call that grass. And back on the track he goes. I think he only lost 1 or 2 spots out of that. So I think his pride was hurt more than his track position here so far.
Yeah, he lost a couple of spots, but he's got a whole train of cars behind him now. He's got to worry about big battle going on right behind those guys, too. They're all spread out going all over the place, trying to get every position they can get.
Oh, Brian Carey at some point here had an issue. He was running really great. He was up in 7th.
Josh Shin putting some good laps there. He's now got a 3-second gap.
Yeah, he lost it going into the hairpin and put it into the tires, and that will end your day very quickly.
Yeah, Josh Shin there on our screen there. He is gapped out Adam Blocker 3 seconds. That's not an easy thing to do. Adam Blocker's two-time defending champion here. He's fast all the time. So Joshua Chin doing a great job just spreading it out.
Yeah, and I've noticed here the last little bit, it seems like Adam might be going more of a fuel-saving strategy. So we'll keep an eye on that too as well. Go back to Michael Goodman. See what he's got on tap for us here. See if he's able to get the spot away from Connor Harrington. He almost had a good run on him there coming into the hairpin. Can't really get the exit though.
Right, he did have a good run, but he kind of fixated on it. Connor in front of him, they both went wide in the hairpin there and kind of follow each other. Connor Harrington on a little bit of a pressure, getting a little loose over turn 2, so he's definitely feeling the heat from Michael Goodman.
Now, from your perspective, at a track that's hard to pass, like what Sonoma is it easier to get fixated on somebody as opposed to a track that you can make some moves?
Oh, absolutely. And I had that same problem in the retro practice race. And I was behind somebody and just kind of started making the same mistakes they were making. So you got to really kind of watch what you're doing and just set it up. You got to be patient here. You can't just catch up and make a move. You got to try to wait till they make a mistake and then make your move because there's not a lot of areas that you can just straight out pass them.
Well, these Indy cars, well, they're setting lap times around 113, 114. We are clicking them off real quick as Joshua Chin starts the 10th lap, but back on the 9th lap, Stefan Larkamp, Damon Martinez getting back into a close battle. Starting to see Damon Martinez make a few more mistakes, and that's putting him back into the clutches here, Stephen Larkamp.
Seen a lot of two-car battles out there, but once again, it's easy to catch, not easy to pass. So if that guy's right behind you, your only job is to not make a mistake and leave the door open. But Stefan Larkamp doing a good job putting the pressure. Ooh, come right up to turn 2 there. He's right in his mirrors, putting the heat on Damon Martinez. Damon doing a good job not making a mistake.
I hate to throw Sean here for a loop, but first of all, I'd like to get a lap comparison on these two, and then I'd like to go to another battle here in a minute with Goodman and Jay Brandt. I think Brandt's catching him. We'll get a lap comparison on them in just a minute. But I want to see one here on these two first, because I really think Stephen Larkamp, not only is he making fewer mistakes right now, I really think he's catching them hand over fist. I mean, that's kind of how it looks like here to me at this point. Just want to kind of put proof on that here. Yeah, there we go. So, yeah, quite a bit faster than David Martinez here and caught right back up to him. So you're right there, Richie. Definitely easy to catch, hard to pass. And I think that's what we're seeing right now.
Yeah, especially when you go through these S's here, you kind of lose the aero balance a little bit. As you come into the one spot that you can pass, you kind of fall behind. But there he goes, Stephen Larkamp, right on the inside. Really, all he needs to do is just kind of stay in the mirrors of David Martinez and hope he makes a mistake. Just all he has to do is brake a little too hard, and the door's open. But those guys are racing pretty tough out there right now.
Yeah, Michael Goodman, by the way, just had almost a great run on Connor Harrington just a moment ago. And that goes me to my next comparison. I think the longer here that Michael Goodman is focused on Connor Harrington, that's getting Jay Brandt back into this fight here. He's still a little ways back there, but he is catching him right now. And we very well could have a 3-car battle here in just a few minutes here, Richie.
I think Michael Goodman's definitely faster than Connor, but Connor's running the defensive line and they're just slowing each other down. You're right, Jay Brandt is catching them, and we are going to have a 2-car battle here very soon.
Oh, and Connor Harrington has to smoke that right front, trying to get that car low down before it gets through turn 11. That is the hairpin. And he does, in fact, actually gets a great exit there. It's able to launch a little bit away from Goodman going down the front straightaway. Can't really, it seems like the front half of the track. Oh, Connor Harrington gets loose, saves it. Woo, yeah. He was full lock there.
Yeah, he clipped that curb of going over the hill, and he got on the brakes right away to save from the spin, but then Michael Goodman had to slow down to keep from hitting him. You got to bring in Jay Brandt.
Yeah, you got to give props there to Michael Goodman, too, for being able to stay out of Connor Harrington in that, too. So that's great driving there, both by Harrington saving the machine and Goodman staying out of him. And you're right, Jay Brandt, he's in the window now. This is where Jay Brandt should probably try to capitalize. And by the way, we're only about 5 to 6 laps away from what we believe is the pit window around lap 18.
I thought Michael Goodman was going to get a good run through those S's, but you know, as they go through there, you lose that aero balance and you got to lift. But there you go. There's Jay Brandt right in the back, and he is definitely catching. So Michael Goodman's going to have to worry about what's behind him, not just what's in front of him.
Right now, what's in front of him is that blue machine of Connor Harrington, who just cannot find a way around. Jay Brandt, I think it's officially safe to say, he is right there. and riding on board now here with Michael Goodman. See, going up into the carousel too is another area where I think Connor Harrington's really doing well. It seems like the slower corners are where he might be the weakest and where Michael Goodman is catching him.
Yeah, he does a good job getting a run out of the carousel, which protects him going into the top of the hill where they're at right now. Turn 7, I believe that is. And that gives him a nice run through the S's, so he's kind of protecting his spot. We have some big gaps out there. Joshua Chin is already lapping Samuel Ryman. So Josh Chin putting in a lot of good fast laps. He's gapped out Adam Blocker by about 3.2 seconds. But then there's a 5-second gap to Andrew Kinsella. And going back to what you said earlier, Adam, is a lot of these guys might be saving some fuel, realizing that they can't make it happen. So maybe they can happen on fuel mileage.
And I'll tell you too, just looking at the lap times and everything, Adam Blocker was bleeding time away from Joshua Chin. I thought maybe he was fuel saving. Maybe he did only have to save just a little bit to get to his next lap. But the bleeding has stopped. I mean, he's been able to stabilize that gap to right about 3 to 3.5 seconds to Joshua Chin in front of him. And there's enough variability that, hey, anything happens on these pit stops. I mean, Adam Blocker can be right back there on Joshua Chin.
Yeah, you can see those lap times right there on the screen. And, if you can go 1 lap longer on each stop, that means you have to take less fuel on the last stop, and that might be enough to jump the guy in front of you on those pit stops. And sometimes when you're on a track like this where you just can't purely race out the guy, you got to think maybe you can outsmart him.
Well, here's a couple of guys that are in a battle right now that we have not talked about really much yet. Brian Beard and the Candyman Dustin Wardlow. Brian Beard, that chrome number 5, chrome and red machine, and Dustin Wardlow getting a great inside look on him. Not really able to do anything with it, but kind of filling up that right side mirror of Brian Beard, letting him know he's there.
Yeah, kind of the same type of battle we saw up with Harrington and Goodman. He's right there, but can't really find a spot to get by. So what you gotta do is just hassle him, and hopefully he makes a mistake and you get on by. But he's kind of stuck at that spot at that moment.
Just got to put the pressure on him and hope that he makes a mistake, and a mistake that doesn't take you out with him here. As leaders continue to get around some of the lapped vehicles. Looking at some of the other battles we've been watching, Connor Harrington, Michael Goodman, they're stable. Jay Brandt right behind them, stable as well. Nathan Lewis, nothing really to see there. So just once again, it seems like we're back to some of these 2-car battles here, Richie, with maybe just the 3rd car just kind of sneaking in there. Let's go ahead and go back a little bit here into the field, back toward Scotty Johnson here, running back in P17. And this is right now battle for 17, the good big battle here. This is going to be Sean Holmes, Jason Galvin, Joe Branch, and leading them is Scotty Johnson.
Yeah, we got a nice little 3-car battle there. These guys are all stacked up. And right behind them, Jason Galvin's got a nice run on Joe Branch through the S's. If he can hang on through that turn 10, Joe Branch is going to block the inside. But I found earlier that if you can go around the outside, the next corner is going to be yours. So sometimes you don't need to have the inside to make the pass here.
It's all about, in a place like this that kind of flows and everything else, it's all about setting up that next corner. I mean, you're not thinking about that hairpin there. You're thinking about all the S's and everything else before that to maybe get you set up to make a run into the hairpin. And then out of the hairpin, you're not really thinking about it. You're thinking more about turn 1, which kind of makes it sound like the hairpin is inconsequential, which it definitely is not.
No, definitely not. The hairpin, it may be where you set up the pass into turn 1 or 2. Working lap 16 here, and probably in about 2 or 3 laps, we're going to get some pit stops. And want to go back to that pit lane entry. That is a really tricky thing to maneuver as you come in super hot, and the pit lane speed limiter is around the corner, so you can take that hairpin as fast as you want, but you definitely don't want to hit the wall.
Yeah, as fast as you want and as fast as you're able to. Right? There's completely different things there, but that also is what part of what makes it challenging. And I preach it on in leagues all the time. Just kind of going on my pedestal here is practice pit entries, and this is one of those places that you can lose a ton of time on that pit entry. It's also one of the more challenging ones. Not as challenging as, say, Bathurst, but definitely challenging out there. Riding on board now with Jason
Oh,
Galvin.
and Chin is in the pits.
All right, so Joshua Chin in the pits as Connor Harrington is trying to spin around as well. So things get exciting here all of a sudden. Looking
Yeah,
at
it looks like Josh
he's able to
Chin
get
is
straightened
in.
out. And it's such a
And,
long drive. Chris Lanini now also announcing he's going to be coming in.
yeah, Kinsella's in, but a black blocker stays out.
So maybe
Now,
that was the reason why maybe Adam Blocker was saying just enough to make it that one extra lap. So could be interesting. See where he comes
yeah,
out. Joshua Chin is now pulled away. Wait for Andrew Kinsella here to pull away.
yeah, we'll be watching. Adam Blocker should be coming in this lap, and we'll see how it merges out. This is where Adam Blocker's got to lay down the time. All he's got to do is gain a little bit of time on him, and he can come out in front. Although he was 3 seconds back, so I don't expect him to pass Josh Chin, but I expect him to be a lot closer.
Yeah, and all you got to be thinking, while you're that far back, you're thinking about that next pit stop too, and trying to gain a little bit of time there. And indeed, Adam Blocker is in. By the way, Connor Harrington, when he did have a little bit of an incident a minute ago, he lost 2 spots. That was about it. Just fell back behind Jay Brandt. Adam Blocker making the way down, and this is such a long pit road at 45 miles an hour. And Adam Blocker, his pit stall all the way down here, second from the end. And we're going to be looking at Joshua Chin here as well to see where he is able to
He
come
is in the
in.
hairpin right now, so he's going to be coming through. He's going to be close. I think he's going to have the lead, but I think it might be a little bit closer than when he came in.
Yep, and here goes Adam Blocker.
There goes Adam.
And there goes Joshua Chin. So yeah, that Richie, that looks like it's a little bit closer now.
Yeah, and if Adam Blocker can make another lap on him for the next stop, that's where he's going to gain the time, because it just takes that little much of fuel to get out, and that might be the difference. So he's closed quite a bit on that last pit stop.
There you go. We'll get a comparison here on those in just a minute to see what the time is between them two. But looking at some of the other battles are going on here thanks to these pit stops, it's starting to mix things up here a little bit.
Yeah, one thing I noticed is Michael Goodman, I don't think he has pitted yet. So he's gone an extra 2 laps. So nice job for saving fuel with him. He should be coming in this lap, but this will be a big difference when we get near the end. Maybe he did pit there.
Okay, so he is on his outlap right now. So we'll see where he comes in, but right away, you kind of get the idea of where he is. I mean, he's very much ahead of Connor Harrington and Jay Brandt. So he comes out the winner as far as that battle between the 3 of them. Opened up a huge gap. So that worked out well in Michael Goodman's favor. See where he fully cycles out here in just a moment. Right now, sitting in 4th, and I think that's where he will end up being. Andrew Kinsella in 3rd, Adam Blocker in 2nd, Joshua Chin in 1st here at Sonoma.
Do want to note out that even though I was wrong on Michael Goodman pitting, he did take the position from Connor Harrington on that pit stop exchange. So he was able to leapfrog him in the pits. Didn't have to worry about passing him on the track.
Which is good because, well, Connor Harrington, it looks like he got him by about 0.3 of a second in both directions there, both in the stop and the lane. I think another interesting one would be to see Harrington and Jay Brandt, because Harrington went in behind Brandt, and Brandt's trying to play catch up here. Remember, Connor Did have that little bit of an incident there just in the middle of that pit cycle where he kind of had a half spin and a half spin the other direction trying to gather it up. That cost him those 2 positions. He got one of them back, but now falling back into the clutches here, Jay Brandt. And can't discount, you've got the rookie Nathan Lewis in that black car behind them right now as well. So there's your pit stop comparison. A full second slower in the box itself for Jay Brandt over Connor Harrington.
Yeah, another duo that we were watching earlier, that change was Steven Larkamp was able to get in front of David Martinez on that pit stop change as well by quite a bit. Steven Larkamp's all the way up into turn 2 already, and David Martinez just crossing the start-finish line.
Joshua Chin now well into lap traffic here. Just got around Joe Branch. It's gonna lead really, I think only right now about 21, maybe 20 cars here in the lead lap. I know Joe Branch just had his pit stop, but at a place that's hard to pass, is Adam Blocker here might have a little bit of a hard time getting around Joe Branch. It's going to cost him some time coming out of the hairpin. That's pretty key right now. That could both hurt and help Connor Harrington, as you saw, and vice versa for Joshua Chin. Lap traffic does start to play more of a role. Next car will be attacking the Cristolini. He does have just a minute or two before he catches up to him. Looking at some other battles here behind some. Let's go back to Brian Beard and Dustin Wardlow. We were talking about them right before the pit cycle started. And Brian Beard still hanging on here just ahead of Dustin Wardlow. Nearly identical lap times out of those two right now. And up ahead of them, see Nathan Lewis is up there. So they got a ways to go before they catch Nathan Lewis. They can try to settle this out here amongst themselves. Of course, both very much veterans of the various Lionheart series. So these two have been around each other quite a bit. They know how to race each other. And on the more that they go at it, though, the more that's allowing James Krahula to kind of try to sneak in there. He's in that neon yellow machine. He was our profile driver of the day earlier on in the broadcast. And you see him creeping back there in that neon yellow car. Hey, let's go ahead and check out Mark Cohn. We haven't talked about the Watchman here yet. He's got that helmet cam on. And Mark Cohn, that Marble Blue machine continues to run, not as well as what I think he'd hope in 14th position. Still, coming home and surviving the day in that Espo Designs onboard camera and the NLR sim racing car. And having himself a good, clean day here so far. And if you know Mark Cohn, one of the greatest guys out there, great personality, just overall a good guy. You know to him that having a good, clean day, it means the world to him, and that's what he's got going on right now. So leader is just behind him. Sorry, not the leader. Sorry about that. That is Brian Gosling. Brian Gosling is running. He wishes he was in the lead. He got caught up in that turn 1 problem right there. And he is just out there trying to get some positions 1 lap down to the field.
Yeah, sorry to disappear on you there. I got a message from Brian Carey. He's out of the race. And basically he just his quote, "I just crapped the bed," as he lost control and crashed into the tire barriers in the hairpin. That was a little while ago. So just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, we were talking about that a little while ago as well, and that was a tough hit for him. Didn't get it on the replay, but we definitely heard about it, and that's a tough break there. Is riding on board now, Dustin Wardlow, and that camera that sticks straight out from the nose wing, still trying to chase down Brian Beard. Look how much that gap closes up. Fantastic camera angles here from Dougie Beard, and of course, all the work that is going on in the immersion from iRacing. You can see how the clouds look, and it looks a lot more realistic than it did about 10 years ago, Richie.
Oh, absolutely. I love that camera on the right of the nose. You really get a sense of the speed. And Dustin Wardlow's been right behind him for a while and just can't find a way by. And he's been pressuring Brian Beard. Brian's done a good job not succumbing to that pressure. And we'll see how that goes. This guy's racing hard for 8th and 9th position. We do have one more pit stop in a little while. Maybe Dustin can get him then, but Ryan doing a great job holding them off as they come through the S's down towards the hairpin.
And you're Brandon Lipkeman fans. He's another veteran of this series. He unfortunately had trouble before he got into the S's about a lap or two ago, and he is done for the day. So with that, we will go ahead and take a break here on GSRC, and we'll be right back in a few minutes. Welcome back to the Turn Racing Grand Prix of Sonoma here on GSRC and the Global Sim Racing Channel, of course, the home of Lionheart. And once again, putting on a great show here for today with the rookie Joshua Chin out in front of this race here so far as we're going into the second half of today's event. Just to kind of recap everything, Joshua Chin has led from the start. He led after the first round of pit stops, cycled out. Adam Blocker, though, continuing to try to chase him down. He's about a second closer to Joshua Chin than what he was before the pit cycle started. Behind them, of course, is Andrew Kinsella, Michael Goodman, and Connor Harrington rounding out the top five.
Josh Chin doing a good job. He's been the man in charge here, and Adam Blocker's done everything he can to try to close that gap. Closed it up by about a second after those last pit stops, but he's gonna have to close up some more, as we're gonna have pit stops here in about a 10 laps coming up. But I think Josh is just not making any mistakes. He's doing a great job.
And going back over to Wardlow and Beard, and yes, you did see Joshua Chin blinking a little bit. We'll keep an eye on his connection here over the next few minutes. Brian Beard, though, continuing to hold off Dustin Wardlow for that 8th position. These two have been going at it now for, I don't know, Richie, probably about 14 laps or so.
Maybe like almost 27 laps. I don't know. It seems like these guys have been together the whole time, and Dustin's tried everything he can to put the pressure on. And once again, I said earlier, I'll give the credit to Brian. It's really hard to do, to just not make that one tiny mistake, and he's done a good job keeping Dustin Wardlow behind him. And there's nothing in front of Brian Beard, so you can just focus on what's going on. But he is definitely one busy guy.
Yeah, as that gap continues to kind of expand and shrink and expand and shrink, and Dustin Wardlow just cannot find a way around Brian Beard right now. Hey, Ron Hacker fans out there, he has decided to park it for the day, not ending the race doing an instant, just parking it here for the rest of the afternoon. So glad to have him out here for tonight. Wish for a better night for him, maybe a better night here in a few weeks. that battle rages on right now. Looking around the track and seeing if we can find anyone else here starting to fight. And I'll say, look, if we go back, actually, we were talking about him a few minutes ago because I think these two are going to stay still for a moment. Mark Cohn and George Anzaldo. As I say that, George Anzaldo does a little bit of a half spin and off into the dirt. I was thinking we're going to have a battle shaping up here with him and Mark Cohn. Unfortunately, not to be, but it does look like we're going to have a battle right in front of the leader with Jason Galvin and George Anzaldo. Now, once we'll get that one come back to live here in just a moment, you see him losing that back end and getting brakes locked down before he hits anything. But we go to them live, and now Jason Galvin looking for a way around him, while Joshua Chin, your leader, is looking for a way around these two. Jason Galvin's going to move to the outside of them, and he actually loses some time here to Adam Blocker now within 1.5 seconds.
Yeah, Josh Chin's getting in some heavy traffic. These guys racing hard. That's definitely closing in Adam Blocker. As Jason Galvin's going to get out of the way and let Josh go, but now he's got Adam Blocker. As they go through these S's, there's no real way to let them go by. And Blocker's all over the back of Jason Galvin as they head up to turn 1 and turn 2. So Josh is going to get a little bit of a break there as he's gotten by George Anzaldo. He's got 2 cars between him.
And Jason Galvin communicating to Adam Blocker. And sorry, there almost looked like a little bit of a screen bump. I thought maybe they touched for a second. They did not. They're okay. And now Adam Blocker is going to have to worry about George Anzaldo. So they're going through the carousel right now. And of course, George is in a tough spot here. He obviously wants to not impede the progress of the leader, but he also does not want to lose that position to Jason Galvin. But once again, these two are veterans. They've been out here plenty of times, and they kind of know what's going on. But that is now a battle for position that is a lap down. That Scotty Johnson is back there, has kind of closed the gap on him a little bit.
Let's give a shout out to George. He's done a good job sitting in 15th, starting 23rd. And both those guys, Jason and George, did a good job of letting the leaders go by without giving up too much track time. So once again, a veteran move there.
And of course, we'll get to see more of this tomorrow night in the Lotus 79. We'll both be out there for that. And that's going to be much of the same, I think, as far as lap traffic. It's so hard to get around, so lap track will probably play a role in that one as well. But here tonight, of course, we got the big boys, the Lionheart IR18 IndyCar Series in turning right now at lap 31 of 50 here for tonight. And that means we're probably only about another 5 laps or so away from another round of pit stops here, Richie.
Yeah, if we go off what they did originally, it was Joshua Chin pitting on lap 18. Adam Blocker did go one more lap. So that's going to be interesting to see. I want to see how that plays out because that little bit of less fuel time taken in the pit stop might be the difference here as Adam Blocker is only 1.7 seconds behind Josh. But Josh has been fast. He's had complete control of this race from the beginning. So I don't expect any difference when we get to the end.
Hey, let's check out another battle. David Martinez for 12th and Tyler Graff here for 13th. They've been going at it here in the last few minutes or so. David Martinez just can't seem to pull away from Tyler Graff.
Earlier he had Stephen Larkin at right behind him, but Tyler Graff is all over the back of David Martinez. So David Martinez has had his hands full from lap 1 to lap 31 so far. It's just 2 different guys, and he's taking the inside line. Going to the top of the hill.
Oh, he's going to slide. Tyler Graff's going to go around the outside. And that minus 273 camera, you saw it. And David Martinez is back on track. He's got a ways to go before he starts getting back into the clutches of the leader. But here's Tyler Graff avoiding that one. Tyler Graff kind of saw the writing on the wall. He's able to scoot by to the outside as David Martinez never fully came all the way around on him. That's another one. He didn't lose any position other than that one to Tyler Graff, so his pride is probably more hurt than his actual race position here at this point. But he is the last car now on the lead lap. Joshua Chin now starting to click him off.
Yeah, just That's the only way sometimes you can get by, is to pressure that guy to make that mistake. When you take that inside line up into that hill and you get on the brakes and the rear end's going to come around on you. So, nice job, Damon, not spinning all the way around, but nice job to Tyler to taking advantage of the situation.
And now, you just saw Joshua Chin going purple, just like the car. In fact, almost the exact same shade of purple. Setting the fastest lap of the race here so far, and that's going to open up that gap to Adam Blacker by now over 2.5 seconds once again.
Yeah, he's putting down the lap times. He knows pit stops are coming up. Now's the time to go, and so you don't get undercut. So he's doing a good job. He's had complete control of this race from the beginning. I know Adam Blocker, he may be saving fuel, but he's definitely trying, and he's probably seeing that situation get a little bit harder than he would like it to be.
Yeah, right now, the biggest thing on Connor Harrington's mind is the fact that Sage Karam is not here, and every little bit that he can get right now as far as points is going to help him close that points gap between him and Sage Karam. He isn't going to leave here today with that points lead. He's still too far back, but he can close it significantly here, and he would love that extra few points for the race win. But even then, he also doesn't want to jeopardize the great points that he's going to get for second at this point.
Yeah, you could even make that case for Blocker, as he's sitting at fourth in the points, 146 points back, and if he can have a good finish, even second place, that's going to help tighten that battle up.
Yeah, looking here at Galvin, I was catching it there for a second. I'm so sorry, I was mixing up Connor Harrington and Adam Blocker when I was talking a minute ago, and I have no idea how that happens. They're two totally different guys. Great guys, but two totally different guys, and it shouldn't happen to me. But Andrew Kinsella out there too. I mean, all those guys that really in the top 4 in points really stand to have a great day and try to close up some gaps. So as right now, that battle on your screen here looks George Anzaldo and Tyler Graff, Jason Galvin still going at it. They have neck and neck here through the S's. George Anzaldo shuts the door on him. I don't think George would have done that if they weren't friends.
I think George just got a little loose over the hill there and had to get out of it, and Jason was on it and almost ran into the back of it. Here they go. Got pit stop starting with Martinez coming into the pit lane.
Now, this might be a little bit more of a strategy call, because now the pit window is open to making the rest of the way from here. So maybe he figured I'd go ahead and come in a few laps early and just see what happens here. Yeah, so now hearing Connor Harrington and Nathan Lewis are both coming down pit road. Here's Connor Harrington on your screen.
Yeah, they're basically responding to what he did, so they don't get undercut with those used tires. The key is going to be Chin and Blocker. I think Chin is just going to call it pretty standard pit on lap 36, which is pretty much coming up. Adam Blocker should be able to go another lap as long as you have a clean pit stop. He's got 2.5 second gap, and Josh Chin is in.
Yeah, is Adam Blocker. What's he doing? He looks like he's going to go ahead and stay out just like he did before. That'll give him the lead for at least a lap here again.
Yeah, he's going to have to have a monster lap here on this out lap. Josh is all he has to do is have a clean stop. Just don't mess up, and he should come out in the lead. And he's got the speed to hold that lead.
And by the way, Joshua Chin also, as Adam Blocker now sets the fastest lap of the race. He's doing exactly what he needs to do. But Joshua Chin was just setting the world on fire, but now he's going to have a fresh set of tires and enough fuel to go to the rest of the way here as he pulls away. And now we wait to see what Adam Blocker does. As he comes out of the carousel, down the drag strip. If you're not familiar with Sonoma Raceway, there is that drag strip here that NHRA does race on. Comes around, comes into the S's. I'd have to imagine he should definitely come in this time.
I would expect him to come in this time. He made up about 0.7 of a second on that last pit stop, but that's not going to be enough. So as long as Josh doesn't have a bad outlap, here comes Adam Blocker into the pit lane. See how this plays out.
Great pit entry, by the way. I mean, he absolutely nailed that, I think, as best as you possibly can. doing everything he can to try to close the gap between him and Joshua Chin. And now, find where Joshua Chin is. He's through the coming into the S's. Got that straightaway in sight here between turn 11. Adam Blocker just now pulling into his box. Joshua Chin in the middle of the carousel. Oh, excuse me, the hairpin. If I could talk, that would be great. Kind of acquired of a broadcaster. As now Adam Blocker pulls away. Joshua Chin.
Ooh, it's going to be
getting
close.
out there. Adam Blocker, I think, has him here.
Yeah, he does
he's
have
got him. Man,
we got a
we
track
got a race.
race. And Josh is going to hit the position into turn 3. But we definitely have a race to the end. It's a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. So that lap in on Adam Blocker was a monster lap. And he is right on the back of Josh Chin at this moment.
And that I think was Adam Blocker playing nice right there. That ultimately though, probably the best decision there. They both avoid any kind of incident. Now Adam Blocker though, the onus is on him. He's got to try to chase him down. But we know he's got a fast car. Both these guys have a fast car. This could be heading our way to a gangbusters finish on a road course, which is great.
Yeah, and we got some traffic coming up as well. So Josh is trying to pull away a little bit. Adam's trying to get his tires up to temp, but he's right there, and they're coming up on a couple of lap cars. I see 3 lap cars in front of him. Well, 2. One just pulled in the pits.
Yes, some more of those guys go a lap down. That's Scotty Johnson, Scott Holmes in the pits. Haven't really talked much about Scott Holmes here tonight as they complete their final pit stop today. Joshua Chin, though, really doesn't look like he's edging out Adam Blocker too terribly much. He's not pulling away from that much, but also Adam Blocker, probably for the first time since the opening laps of this race, actually has the advantage of being able to kind of try to catch a little bit of the draft here off Joshua Chin down some of the straightaways. Now, Richie, as far as, I know we talk a lot about things like aero push and stuff on the ovals, but would you have to worry about aero push and say maybe the carousel around here?
Oh, absolutely. You want to get that drive up that hill, and you come in a little too tight or a little too close to the guy in front, you can't get on the power. Where they're going right now is where you're really going to feel that air push right over this hill right there. You can see how much steering input you got to put in. He did drop some wheels as well because of it. And you just lose that drive, and that leads you right into that passing zone. So even though Adam Blocker's there, man, it's going to be tough, although they're both locking up brakes going into the hairpin. They're both trying hard, but I think it's going to be a real tough call for Adam Blocker to get by. It's going to take a big mistake by Chin to let that happen. And Adam Blocker's got the championship to worry about. He's really going to gain a lot of points. Josh is a little farther back. Josh is going for that win, that Rookie of the Year standing, so it's a little different mentality.
Well, right now, we'll see which mentality. Oh, Joshua Chin has the briefest of moments right there. Has to catch the car. And Adam Blocker is able to gain probably the few hundredths that he was able to on that, but I'm pretty sure Joshua Chin's heart just beated out of his chest.
Yeah, you just kind of know where you can make a mistake and where you can't. So you can't make a mistake into this corner. If you can hold them off all the way through the S's, you know you're going to have the hairpin to yourself. You just can't make that big mistake with that half spin or drop a wheel here and there. But they are trying hard. They're definitely trying hard as they come towards the hairpin once again.
And yeah, Blocker is almost right there through the hairpin.
Yeah, you can see on that line, you can see Josh. He's starting to take a defensive line a little bit into these corners, which is going to hurt his speed. So he's starting to turn in early a little bit, brake a little earlier, and back Adam Blocker up. So he's feeling the heat a little bit.
Man, this is a close one now. I'm telling you, I think we got a burn burner on our hands here as we are clicking down the laps at Sonoma. Now, about 10 laps left to go here for the race today. And if you thought this is great, you also got the Lotus 79 and the Retro Series coming up for tomorrow night as well. So we'll be right back here on GSRC for that, as that gap continues to be within a second here between first and second place. You see that lap car up there. That's going to be Tyler Graff. Last car on the lead lap, I should say. He's not lapped yet, but the leaders are coming. The good news is, though, is he does not really have anybody to fight for position, so he's liable just to let those guys go really easily here. And he's also another veteran driver here in Lionheart.
Yeah, let's give credit to the pace these guys are cranking out. I mean, there's a 30-car field, and they're lapping all the way up almost a 12th spot. And they got like a 18-second gap on Andrew Kinsella, who's fast in his own right. So these guys are pushing it from lap 1 all the way through the race, and they are not letting up.
And we do see the blanket there on Joshua Chin. Unfortunately, kind of one of those things with him being the race leader right now. And then there are numerous people having internet issues across the country right now and could be affected by that. So Tyler Graff getting on the radio, communicating with the leaders down the drag strip here, letting them go right on by. And so that will not be an issue, and they have a good long while, possibly the rest of the race, before they catch another lap car. We'll keep an eye in front of the leaders as much as we're keeping our eye right on them here the rest of the way. And still some other battles out there, Galvin and Cone going at it. Looking here at Stephen Larkamp and looking at Krahula. These two have been around each other a good chunk of the race.
All right, let's go back to, and we don't have to go on the screen, but we talked a lot about the Brian Beard, Dustin Wardlow battle going on, and Dustin Wardlow was able to get by Brian Beard finally. I don't know if it happened in the pit stops, but he is finally able to take that 8th position away from him. So nice job to him there, and as he hounded Brian Beard the whole time. Really not a lot of great battles going on except for the lead, which is good for us. Josh Chin still holding the lead. He's got 7/10 of a second to Adam Blocker, but that's closer than we've seen earlier. The rest of the field is kind of spread out enough to where these guys aren't racing too hard with each other. But the battle is really going to be for that first and second position.
And it just give you an idea of the gap right now. Joshua Chin coming out of the S's onto this back straightaway here right before he hit the hairpin, and braking for the hairpin, and Chris Lanini's the next lap car, and he's already up through turn 2 up the hill. So they got a good long while before they're going to encounter lap traffic here, which really, I think if it works to anybody's advantage, it's probably going to be Joshua Chin's. He's obviously got some great pace, and you got to remember Adam Blocker, great pace as well, but he has to be the one to get around Joshua Chin, and we can see how they're kind of bouncing back and forth on the lap times right now.
Yeah, you're going to get that kind of that accordion effect here as they come accelerate and decelerate. But Adam Blocker, I mean, really his only chance to get by is going to be to just push the pressure on Josh. I think Josh has got the speed to hold him off, but we'll see. We got good 8 laps to go.
Laps are clicking away here at Sonoma as Adam Blocker catches a little bit too much curb right there going into the beginning part of the S's, and I think it's going to hurt him a little bit coming out. Not able to keep the power down when he got the wheels off the ground. Kind of makes things, not work the way it's supposed to. And that might cost him a few hundredths, or right now a few hundredths matter. Closes right back up under braking, but I think he kind of outbrakes himself just a little bit right there, Richie.
Yeah, they're both coming in with the front tires smoking a little bit. I really think that Adam Blocker, I mean, unless something happens, he needs to just sit there and take these points as Sage Cameron's not here tonight. This is going to be a big jump in the points for him. And just keep the pressure on Josh. Josh has done a good job, but you can see, feeling a little bit of the pressure, locking up brakes, hitting curbs a little bit. He hit the curb right there. Can't get the power down. And, just see what happens.
I don't think anybody told him about the points. Maybe that's it. Maybe. I don't know. I feel like he'd be taking the curves a little bit easier if he was wanting to too. But let's go back to that Larkamp battle there. And Stephen Larkamp in 11th, James Krahula in 10th. And these two still continuing to go at it. The two battles on the racetrack are the ones for the lead and the one for 10th position. This is that second of the two. Only a half second between these two guys.
Yeah, when you get to this point of the race and you're sitting in 11th, that 10th place seems like a big difference. So Stephen Larkamp's going to just put the pressure on James Krahula and really take that position away if he can get close enough. James doing a good job holding them off. They're coming up to the carousel and then up to a good passing position up at the top of the hill at the end of the drag strip.
Yeah, getting that great run. Krahula is down the drag strip and Stephen Larkamp in his draft and actually able to use that draft. But there you go, hitting a little bit too much curb. And that's going to hurt him a little bit as they start to come through the S's. You see that gap just kind of widen out just a little bit here under acceleration as it normally would, but I think it's kind of expanded by the fact that he kind of didn't have a very good start to that sequence right there. Down into the hairpin, should close up once again. They're going around Samuel Ryman on the outside. Stephen Larkamp really diving it in there right now, getting awfully close to those tires.
Yeah, you gotta the key is getting a good run at the top of the hill there, and because it's almost flat out all the way through the S's, so there's not a lot of timing. Oh, James is gonna lose it at the top of the hill in turn 2. There's Stephen Larkamp's opportunity. Give that 10th position to Stephen. James was trying a little too hard to get the power down at the top of the hill and loses that position.
Which leaves one big battle right now on the racetrack, and that's going to be for P1. And even that is trying to start to open up just a little bit. Actually, as I say that, I get back to it, and Adam Blocker a lot closer than what he was even just 30 seconds ago, the last time I looked in on it. So looking to see, I don't see any mistake that Joshua Chin made. I think Adam Blocker's starting to turn up the afterburners here a little bit.
Yeah, I think Adam Blocker does a good job at knowing to back off a little bit, maybe cool off the tires and make a run at it. But I just don't see it happening. I think Josh he's been the dominant car here. I think Adam Blocker's been trying his hardest and just can't quite get close enough to make a move. They're almost pretty even on times. And as long as Josh doesn't make a mistake, I think he's going to be pretty good to go.
And I'm seeing him go a little bit wider through some places though as well. So just hopefully he's not feeling the pressure at all. I mean, you got to remember Joshua Chin is a rookie in this series. I mean, obviously not a rookie on iRacing. He's got the King of Chins channel, all that kind of stuff too. Big contributor to the community, but he is still a rookie in this series. And, got to hope he doesn't try to make a rookie mistake or something like that and give that lead up. Just don't feel the pressure, Joshua, if you're listening. Don't feel the pressure. Just drive your race. It'll be all right. He's doing a great job of that here so far. As Adam Blocker now has just a little bit of a moment going through the carousel.
Yeah, he came over that hill a little bit, pointing it the wrong way. But as experienced as Josh Chin is, still, this is a tough league. And, when you're that close to your first win, I don't care who you are, you're going to be nervous. And so he's doing a good job. But Adam Blocker's trying as hard as he can to put the pressure on him, too.
I was trying to go the entire way without saying it was going to be the first win. I didn't want to put that juju on it. But I guess now we're coming to 3 to go. I guess we can't avoid that at this point. So, yeah, it would be Joshua Chin's first win if he's able to pull it off here. And he's got the upper hand. And the more I'm looking at Adam Blocker, I think he's just trying to stay close enough to maybe hope that he makes a mistake, but he's not going to put himself in a position to make a mistake himself.
Yeah, Adam Blocker's closed in with it half a second. He's primed to take a position if Josh makes a mistake, but I don't think he's fast enough to actually outright make the pass. And but man, that's not easy. He's hitting curbs, and he's locking brakes up, so he's definitely not immune to making a mistake. As Josh goes over the carousel, back up the drag strip for one more time on lap 48.
And don't forget, in Lionheart, the team championship is a big deal with Lionheart. And all the SKM guys right now. Martinez has had some trouble in the race today. He's a little bit further back than what he wanted to be. Karam is not here. So it all rests on the rookie shoulders of Joshua Chin to come away with this race win and keep SKM in the battle for the team championship. And he's doing his best at it so far here because you got the Alcatech NHR guys, that Harrington, Larkamp, Lewis, those guys are all having somewhat decent days out there in the top 10. So that's that puts a lot of pressure on him right now. That's something that Adam Blocker really doesn't have to worry about as a team championship. He's just going for the driver championship. But that has to think, Joshua Chin has to be thinking about that as well.
Yeah, and also thinking about the Rookie of the Year standings, as he's 44 points back to Nathan Lewis. Nathan Lewis sitting in 6th spot, but this is definitely going to gain him some points to try. Oh, he almost loses it going over the hill. Wow, that was close. He's definitely feeling the heat as he almost loses it going over into the carousel on the brinks. He's definitely probably sweating at this point.
Man, it almost makes me wish we can get off of this and not give him the commentator's curse. But it's a battle for the lead in the closing laps of the race at Sonoma in the Turn Racing Grand Prix of Sonoma. It's all coming to an end here on GSRC. They are getting ready to catch the white flag. Joshua Chin, will he be able to secure his first victory in the Lionheart IndyCar Series? Well, we're going to find out here in exactly one lap, with Adam Blocker closing the distance that last lap by over half a second. It's half a second closer now. So we actually do have a race on our hands. Yes, Adam Blocker's thinking points. He's thinking big picture. But at the same time, you know that if he can steal a race win away, he is going to try to do it. Joshua Chin throwing that car right now around, heading down into the last couple of quarters here before the carousel. Carousel is going to go up over the hill and start to come down. Hopefully not get a little bit loose. This is where he had his moment just a minute ago. Adam Blocker looks like he's going to overdrive the corner just ever so slightly. It's enough to cost him just a few tenths of a second. Now we go through turn 7. This is kind of a double apex corner. He's able to get through it cleanly. This is where Adam Blocker's hit a few curves here the last few laps, kind of upset him a little bit. But right now, Joshua Chin and Adam Blocker looking smooth as butter coming through there. Coming down the long S's section through turn 10, heading down to the hairpin in turn 11. Last chance for Adam Blocker, dives it in there, can't quite get there. He's going to overdrive it. Down the front straightaway we go. Joshua Chin picking up his first win in the Lionheart IndyCar Series. Adam Blocker in second position. We've got a long way back to go until we reach Andrew Kinsella. He right now is still coming through the S's, coming through turn 11. He's going to be able to round up that podium here for this afternoon. Great run from Andrew Kinsella, one of the series veterans out there. He will bring home that third position. Michael Goodman, only a couple of seconds behind him. He's going to be coming home in 4th, crosses the start-finish line. And Connor Harrington in 5th. That's going to round out your top 5 here at Sonoma. And maybe Larkamp and Dustin Wardlow. See if that might be something there. Something must have happened to Dustin Wardlow the last few minutes. Larkamp right now sitting in 9th position. Dustin Wardlow might try to make a last gasp here, try to get back to him in the hairpin. Able to get to the inside of him, or who's able to get the power down? We got a drag race here now. Dustin Wardlow on the outside as they go through that last little corner right there. Dustin Wardlow gets him at the line. And that with James Krahula just behind those guys there by a couple of seconds, that's going to round out the cars on the lead lap. Once he crosses the line, he should have no trouble doing that. We'll come back here in just a few minutes, talk to the winners. Joshua Chin, once again, coming away with his first win in Lionheart IndyCar. Welcome back to the Turn Racing Grand Prix of Sonoma and the HyperX post-race show. Hey, it was a battle to the line between Wardlow and Larkamp, with Wardlow getting the spot back. We mentioned we didn't catch what happened with Wardlow because we were focusing on the leaders. Well, here it is, coming up the hill, coming into turn 2 for Wardlow, and the back end's going to start to try to come around on him and see the aftermath there. Well, it'll rewind that just a touch. And that's another spot, Richie, where it seems like the car gets really light under braking. Thankfully, Pro Move able to keep it out of the tires. So yes, he did lose a few spots, but he still had a car to come back and finish in 9th place. And of course, the Lionheart Racing Series is powered by HyperX. When you're trying to claw your way to the top of the podium, it pays to have an ultra comfortable, high quality headset that gives you the audio information you need to grab the checkered flag. From high performance DRAM and SSDs to outstanding microphones, accurate mics, responsive keyboards to the legendary cloud line of gaming headsets, you're listening to one right now. HyperX makes the gaming gear you need to succeed. Casual or pro, no matter your creed, color, or culture, we're all gamers, and HyperX is always ready to game. Use promo code LIONHRT15 at hyperxgaming.com. Now, here's the turn racing finishing order. And of course, the back half of the top 10, well, we saw the results of that just a few minutes ago. But Joshua Chin coming home with his first career victory in Lionheart IndyCar, followed very closely by Adam Blocker. Adam Blocker was right there the entire back half of the race. Great pit stop strategy by him to be able to get himself up there again. Andrew Kinsella rounds out your podium. Michael Goodman in 4th, Connor Harrington 5th, Nathan Lewis with a great quiet day in 6th, Jay Brandt in 7th, Brian Beard in 8th, and you saw the race to the win, race to 9th right there, by 800ths of a second. Dustin Wardlow comes over top Stephen Larkin.
Yeah, coming home 11th. We watched him battle really pretty busily out there. Coming home 11th. First car lap down to be Tyler Groff in 12th, Damon Martinez in 13th, Jason Galvin in 14th, Mark Cohn doing a good job into 15th there, Scott Holmes 16th, George Anzaldo holding his own there, 23rd to 17th, Scotty Johnson in 18th, Samuel Ryman in 19th, and Joe Branch coming home 20th.
Yeah, and 21st spot on back. And I would say that some of these guys had problems, but you can't say that about Chris Lanini and Tony Schowen. Tony Schowen had a little bit of an issue at the beginning of the race, but able to have the rest of the race relatively clean. And then we get into the retirees. That's going to be Brian Yozik, Ron Hacker, Brandon Lincoln, Brian Greeley, Brian Carey, Justin Weaver, Adam Frazier, and George Sandman did not take the green flag here for today. So with that, well, that was just an exciting race. And those standings are brought to you thanks to Turn Racing, merging the gap between real and sim racing. Use promo code Lionheart10 at www.turnracing.com. And now it's time to head down to the Sim Experience Victory Lane, talk to our winner. Richie, I'm going to let you talk to Joshua Chin.
Oh, Josh, man, great job. First win in the series. I know you're an expert in these Indy cars, but your first win here, how does it feel?
Thanks. It feels great. Kind of felt like I got the monkey off my back finally. I know I had a few bad runs the last 3-4 races and kind of ride the ship now and hopefully get the rest of the season kind of going the same way. I think the title's out of the question now, but get a few more wins in the year.
You going into that first pit stop, you were about 3 seconds ahead of Adam and come out and you're 2.2 seconds, and then come out on the second pit stop and he pretty much was in front of you. Did you think it was going to be that close on that second pit stop?
No, I was surprised on the second pit stop because I figured he short filled a little bit on the first stop, so I figured probably get the margin back, but I guess I was just giving up a lot of time on pit entry both times, and he was able to make up a quite a bit of ground and also had some good in and out laps, not getting really caught in traffic. I know 1 or 2 times I got caught up with Damon a little bit. He let me through and, saved as much time as we could, but it's definitely still a little bit of time lost.
Yeah, we noticed that lap that you came in on your second pit stop. He had just set the best lap of the race at that point, so he definitely was pushing hard, but he did a good job kind of gapping him out by about a second. And then he had one little moment going over the carousel with like 2 laps to go. How what were you feeling at that point?
Absolutely terrified. I didn't want to completely give away the race there, and I just about did. But I've been in that position before with these cars, and just kind of know where to hit the brake, and how to safe through there. So prior experience definitely helped. I love Sonoma a lot, so I wouldn't be happy to. I wouldn't be any happier to have a win anywhere else in here.
It was a great win, and definitely, like you said, once you get that monkey off your back and kind of push you forward, let us know. I know you got some people you might want to thank. Just give a shout out to the people that helped you out here.
Yeah. First off, big congratulations to Sage on getting engaged. I wasn't intending on making that rhyme, but I, there's definitely been a big three on the road courses this year, and him not showing up kind of made it a little bit easier. I don't want to say that it was the only reason I won, but it definitely did help with the speed factor. And I got to give a shout out to Damon, just all of SKM. He had a pretty good run, 13th, started 12th, just a good solid day. And everyone at Team Talent for helping support as well.
Yeah, very good. So basically, you're saying you want to thank Sage for getting engaged and not being here, is what you're saying.
I mean, I think
I'm
Sage
I'm
had
just I'm just giving you a hard time.
a bigger accomplishment this week. I'll give him plenty of time for that.
No, congratulations, Sage, as well. I saw that on Twitter, and congratulations, Josh. Look forward to talking to you, hopefully again on another win later on the season.
Yes.
And once again, King Chins himself with the win here for today. And also, congratulations to Sage Karam. I meant to bring that up at the beginning of the show for today. Great ring. Good job, man, if you were watching it. But Joshua Chin with that win here today in honor of his teammate. So, Adam Blocker, though, we got him in here into the booth, running second for today. I know not exactly the spot you want to be. Everybody wants that race win, but I have to think you were thinking big picture there, and could have been a good points day without Sage Karam in the picture.
Yeah, definitely good points today. Good to be back in the podium. I've had some top fives recently, but just been so close to wins too. Just haven't gotten them. But just through bad luck or mistakes on my part, either way. But yeah, was hoping to get pole, but Josh put in a really good lap, a couple really good laps. I could have gotten it. I mean, the margin was so close, you can always go better. But we were pretty even on pace, I thought. Yeah, and then I think like 2 or 3 laps in the race, I wasn't even pushing that hard, just trying to keep pace and keep the gap close. And I locked the rears a little bit into the final hairpin. I lost like a good second and a half, 2 seconds because I almost stuffed it on the wall. Moved the brake bias a couple clicks forward to be safe, and was good after that. But the problem was we were just so even on pace. It took me forever to get that gap back, and it was mainly through traffic. I think he got the worst end of traffic for the most part. And then, yeah, I was able to go a lap longer and fuel the first stint. So, uh, not even through saving, just I guess I had better fuel economy than him. And yeah, that allowed me to do the overcut. I knew the overcut was going to be pretty good. Came out in front of him that one stop, but cold tires were just so slick. I didn't want to take too many chances, but.
Yeah, but even then, I mean, you kept him in sight here all day long. You at least gave yourself a great chance at it. And I've got to talk to you about those pit stops as well. I mean, you great first pit stop, great second pit stop, really put you in eyesight of Joshua Chin.
Yeah, I mean, I think for sure I could have gotten the win through the second pit stop because I was like 2 seconds back the start of the pit cycle. And I came out just in front of him. So if I was able to just on pace or whatever, making a little bit less mistakes, get another half second or a second, I think I could have held him off coming out of the pits. So it was really close. Yeah, and then last stint, I probably should have been more conservative than I was. I almost lost it like 2 or 3 times in the carousel. Had some huge moments, but yeah, I was definitely trying to push. But Sonoma is just so hard to follow. You can't even. I mean, there were a couple laps where he was making small mistakes, but I just couldn't get close. Every time we get to a decently high speed corner, I have to lift, and he doesn't, and it's just yeah. But yeah, definitely take second after some of my recent results. So.
Hey, you got to turn the corner at some point. Hey, Adam, anybody you'd like to thank here real quick?
Well, I just want to thank all the guys at Adrenaline. Also, I know they don't sponsor the league, or they sponsor the league a little bit, but HPP for giving me steering wheel and hydraulic pedals a couple of years ago for winning the championship, and AccuForce and Sim Experience for giving me direct drive. Um, Last year, I think this is the first podium I've had with all that stuff, so definitely excited to use it more.
Well, hey, Adam, thanks for dropping in here and talking with us here for today. And we'll see you here again in a few weeks.
Yeah.
All right, so that was Adam Blocker, second place finisher here for today, and Richie's going to catch up with Andrew Kinsella, and I'm going to go on a little bit of a podium here real quick as well. I know Andrew is bummed. Usually, when we come to this race or a race after the long summer break, we're usually talking about the Lionheart trip to Iowa, which I was hoping to go to the first time this year. So I know Andrew's pretty bummed about that, but still a great way to come back from the long summer break, and we'll send it over to Richie to talk to him.
Yeah, Andrew, great job finishing third. Really good qualifying position. I know you struggled a little bit lately in the qualifying, and starting up in fourth position helped that out. And you got a good first lap taking that position into third. But those guys kind of pulled away from you a little bit, and you kind of had a lonely race there.
It was lonely, but I had to keep an eye on my relative. It's not like Connor or Mike are slouches, and certainly Mike was pulling me in on the second stint. And I think if he hadn't had to change front wing on that last stop, we probably would have had a really tight race to the end. He was doing a great job today. That was a tough race. Very happy with the third place for sure, and very happy to finally qualify where my pace in the race has been. And actually start in the top five for once on a road course. It made the race much more pleasant. I wasn't fighting my way through, and I was just able to run my race as opposed to running other people's races and trying to get by them. So yeah, overall definitely pleased. But Sonoma's probably one of the toughest tracks on the service, just because there's no break anywhere on the track. You have no time to gather your thoughts. All the acceleration zones and braking zones are either off camber or they have bumps, and your car's always unsettled. So you're always half catching a slide and making small mistakes. And Adam and Josh, they're just that little step ahead of me right now in terms of being able to catch them and prevent them. So that was, I think, the difference today.
Well, you mentioned something in the chat about how worn out you were, and I did a practice race in the Lotus, and I was sweating my what off. And so just kind of give an insight, like how hard is it to put in 50 laps without a mistake?
It's incredibly hard, and I'll let you know when I actually do it, because I had a couple of small ones. I didn't spin it, but I did a couple of half spins over the course of the race. But it's like you're modulating the throttle to hair millimeters on every exit to try and maximize it. But if you go a little bit too far, especially with the tire model on that it has right now, the tires just spin and you can snap so easily. So you're always just modulating to hair's breadth on the throttle, and then the brakes, like we have really hard braking zones, a couple of really hard braking zones here where you have to be right on the edge of locking up and then really nail your trail braking into those hairpins, and it's just you're constantly just concentrating. And then there's the S's section where it's like you're 75% throttle. If you're really brave, you can go 100%, and then it's like you're weighing risk and reward, trying to figure out if you need to go faster and you need to risk trying to hit that apex just that little bit tighter to go flat out, or whether you're just breathing the throttle just that little bit through the S's, and like you're constantly, it's just a constant grind and a constant computation in your head about what's happening next, trying to figure out, and then trying to figure out strategy, figure out where you are on the track, figure out what your opponents are doing and what you need to do to keep them behind. And yeah, it's a lot to take in for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I totally agree. It's one of the hardest tracks to be focused for the whole race. But man, great job. Good to see you back up on the podium, and just give us some shout outs to some people you like to thank.
Yeah, just thanks to you guys, first of all, for putting this on, putting the broadcast on, and thanks to George and the league, Turn Racing, HyperX, all the league sponsors. We've been on a little bit of a break, so we definitely need to acknowledge that that they put up some fabulous prizes and really help to make this league what it is. And obviously, congrats to Josh and Adam for a great race, and congrats to Sage as well for getting engaged this past week. I'm gonna shout out my own fiance Sophia. Thanks for tuning in today and watching me do this.
Awesome, man. Thanks for joining us here, Andrew. Hope to see you back up here on the podium soon. And with that, I will throw it back to Adam.
And of course, that was Andrew Kinsella coming home in third. Before that, we had Adam Blocker in second and in victory lane today. Joshua Chin was the driver who gets to celebrate in the Sim Experience victory lane. To help you get there, check out the Sim Experience AccuForce steering system. It has the most advanced tuning features on the market. The AccuForce Direct Drive is second only to the real thing. See the entire Sim Experience line of products at simexperience.com. And Richie, great race out there here for today. We got Pocono coming up next. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think we kind of got what we thought we were going to get. Not a lot of passing, but tough racing. Pit stop strategy was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. I didn't think it was going to be that close on that last pit stop with Adam and Josh. But man, it was exciting. Some clean racing, and look forward to seeing these guys on the super speedway at Pocono.
And that's only coming up here in just a few weeks. But we got plenty of people to thank out there that make this happen. One of the greatest leagues on iRacing. And first of all, it goes to the IndyCar Series, Lionheart IndyCar Series title sponsor, First Medical Equipment. They've been the source for medical supplies and equipment in the Burlington, Iowa area for years because of their superior commitment to provide the absolute best in product quality and customer service. HyperX, whenever you play, however you play, HyperX knows we're all gamers. Use promo code LIONHRT15 at hyperxgaming.com. Sim Experience, second only to the real thing. Check out simexperience.com. Butt Kicker, bring more realism and immersion to your sessions. Use promo code LION2020 at thebuttkicker.com. Contact any of the sponsors you see on the screen. Head on over to LionheartRacingSeries.com. The original music on every GSRC broadcast comes courtesy of June Lalonde. See the screen for contact info there. On the screen now are also some of the companies, equipment, and software that make this broadcast possible. The Lionheart IndyCar Series returns August 19th, so another few-week break here for round 11 of the HyperX Pocono 200. GSRC and ISN will be there to bring you all the action. We hope you join us. If you'd like more information about GSRC, including a complete list of future broadcasts, you find it all at GlobalSimRacingChannel.com. We're also on Facebook at /GlobalSimRacingChannel, Twitter at GSR Channel, and Instagram at GSRC_Graham. And if you're not already a GSRC subscriber, head over to the GSRC YouTube page and hit that button to subscribe. Looking for a unique gift? Go ahead and check out the GSRC merchandise store at gsrc.storeindeed.com. And finally, on behalf of the crew, Richie, Sean, Dougie, I'd like to thank you all for watching as Joshua Chin gets the win in the Turn Racing Grand Prix of Sonoma. With that said, we're going to go turn a few laps ourselves. Me and Richie, we got to get ready for Lionheart tomorrow night Retro Series. It's going to be the same time, same bat channel. Until then, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.